As La Liga enters its final stretch, where every round becomes a mental battle, a single moment or a precise strike can decide everything. Barcelona knows this better than anyone. They do not need a dazzling performance or a shower of goals to ignite the stands. Sometimes all it takes is a goal at the right time from the right player to secure 3 points more precious than gold. Against Real Mallorca, Hansi Flick and his men chose that exact approach. Gone was the enchanting version of Barcelona that once swept everything away with beautiful football. Instead, they played with pragmatism, precision, and maturity, as if every step had been pre-programmed to bring them closer to the La Liga crown. There was no need to set the stage on fire. They only needed to control it, their way. From the opening whistle, Barcelona imposed total control. 79% possession, 24 shots in the first half alone, and a series of well-coordinated plays stretched across the pitch. A one-sided game was unfolding in numbers, but football is not mathematics. Stats do not guarantee victory. Real Mallorca refused to get sucked into the whirlwind. They dropped deep, stayed disciplined, and built a wall of granite in front of Predrag Rajkovic's goal. Barcelona pushed relentlessly. Lamine Yamal unleashed a curling outside foot strike. Ansu Fati twisted and turned inside the box. Dani Olmo fired a tricky volley. One by one, they were all denied. Rajkovic was in God mode. He dived low to stop Ferran Torres, then immediately sprang up to block Yamal's follow-up at point-blank range. Moments later, he popped up again to shut down a brilliant one-touch play between Yamal and Olmo. Every save felt like a message. If Barcelona wanted a goal, they would need to do more. To be fair, despite all the control, the Barcelona front line lacked the killer edge. Chances came and went, lost to nervous finishes or overthinking. Gavi and Pedri dominated midfield but failed to deliver the final blow. Ansu Fati, given a rare start, lacked the composure to break the deadlock. And then, as football often reminds us, if you do not take your chances, you risk paying the price. Just before halftime, the stadium held its breath as Mori of Mallorca broke free and slotted past Ter Stegen. Luckily for Barcelona, the assistant referee raised the flag for offside at the very last second. The first half ended in frustration from fans and players alike. They had done everything except the one thing that mattered most: score. That made the opening goal after the break even more valuable. With the second half barely underway, Dani Olmo, who had been quiet in the first half, made his move. A clever off-the-ball run, a perfectly timed pass, and a composed left-footed finish into the far corner. No need for flair, no need for a wonder goal, just the right place, right time, and the pulse of the match in sync. That moment did not just break the deadlock, it lifted the psychological burden off Barcelona's shoulders. They no longer chased the pressure to score. They played freer, cleaner, and more decisive football. It is worth noting that Olmo is no stranger to clutch moments. He also scored the winner in the nail-biting victory over Celta Vigo, again the right player at the right time. With this form, Olmo is proving to be exactly the kind of player Barcelona needs, someone who steps up in silence and defines the game. At a time when Barcelona cannot rely on a traditional striker with Robert Lewandowski sidelined, Dani Olmo is emerging as their quiet hero. He is not the player you see in the weekly highlight reels, but he is always there when it matters most, when everyone is looking elsewhere. After the goal, Hansi Flick did not instruct his team to push forward in search of more. Instead, he did the opposite: slow it down, hold the ball, and control the rhythm of the game. Because sometimes the goal is not to score more, it is to deny your opponent even a sniff of a comeback, and that is exactly what Barcelona delivered for the remainder of the match. No longer the attacking force of the first half, Barcelona switched to control mode. They passed short, stretched Mallorca's shape, and forced the visitors to chase shadows. Gavi and Pedri played with assurance, never wasting a single touch. At the back, Ronald Araujo and Andreas Christensen dropped deep, ready to snuff out any surprise counter. Mallorca, to their credit, did not go down without a fight. They launched some dangerous counterattacks that made the home fans hold their breath. But Barcelona's back line, locked in and disciplined, never let danger turn into disaster. In a game where the scoreboard only changed once, it was the players who did not score that became the foundation of victory. They did not make the headlines, but they quietly built a flawless performance. Lamine Yamal deserves special mention. The La Masia prodigy once again earned his spot on the right wing. While he did not score, he created multiple clear-cut chances with his fearless dribbling and acceleration. On the opposite wing, Ansu Fati, in one of his rare starts, was energetic, covered a lot of ground, pressed tirelessly and delivered a handful of promising moments. Though his shots lacked the sharpness to beat the keeper, the applause he received every time he touched the ball told a story. The fans still believe in him, and he still has time. At the back, Eric Garcia was rock solid. Not only did he shut down danger, but he also provided the assist for the game's only goal. You simply cannot overlook the duo of Gavi and Pedri, the central command of this Barcelona side. Gavi recorded the most successful presses in the match, while Pedri acted as a pivotal cog, keeping the system running smoothly. Their passes might have looked simple, but they were exactly what forced Mallorca to chase shadows for 90 minutes without ever gaining control. All of them, from seasoned veterans to rising stars, from big names to those once doubted, came together to produce a win that may have looked small on paper but carried a far greater meaning. The victory over Mallorca was not just about 3 points. It was a powerful statement in the title race against Real Madrid. It was a show of consistency, the key factor when the season enters its decisive phase. In La Liga right now, even the smallest mistake can be punished. And in this fight, composure is the most valuable kind of victory. Barcelona are now unbeaten in 25 of their last 26 league matches, a record that screams champions. After the match, Dani Olmo shared his thoughts. He said, "We knew we needed the 3 points to stay top of the table, and I am happy to have played my part. That goal came from the whole team's effort. Now we need full focus for the games ahead." The 1-0 win temporarily extended Barca's lead over Real Madrid to 7 points. Of course, Madrid still have a game in hand and that gap might shrink, but more importantly, Barcelona are showing they are ready, not just in points, but in mentality, squad depth, and the mindset of a great team. For Xavi and his men, it no longer matters what the rivals are plotting. They have done their part, secured the win, and pushed the pressure straight back onto Real Madrid. In a marathon race like this, you do not need to keep checking the table. Just keep winning and let the others start to worry. And when you look at both teams' remaining fixtures, the truth becomes clear. El Clásico on May the 11th will be the turning point. It could decide the entire season, a single match where all the work done since day one could be erased in 90 minutes. That is why Barcelona cannot afford any slip-ups before then. They must win, or at the very least, avoid defeat in every round leading up to that showdown to arrive with their heads held high. But the challenge does not end there. Villarreal and Espanyol still await, both fighting for survival or a European spot. And do not forget, the Catalans still have the Copa del Rey final, against Real Madrid no less, and 2 massive legs against Inter Milan in the Champions League semifinals. 3 fronts, a packed calendar, no room for error. Barcelona know this all too well, but if they want to reclaim the throne, they have no choice but to power through. And there is a feeling in the air, something hard to put into words. Barcelona are coming back, not with the dazzling flair that once stunned Europe, but with grit, resilience, and a knack for striking at just the right moment. And when the final whistle blew, Hansi Flick did not celebrate like a man who had just won. He quietly patted each player on the back, nodded, and walked down the tunnel. Because in his mind, preparations for the next battle had already begun. A new opponent, a new challenge, and possibly a slip-up that needs to be strangled before it even happens. Barcelona no longer need applause from the world. They earned that long ago. What they need now is silverware, the kind of proof that speaks the loudest at the end of a season. After turbulent years of doubt, of watching Real Madrid seemingly surpass them in both style and substance, it is cold-blooded pragmatism that is guiding Barcelona back to their rightful place. No storms, no spectacle, just calm accumulation of points, so composed it is almost unnerving, like a predator stalking its prey in the shadows. No need to start with fireworks, just wait for the right moment to strike, and that one perfect hit is all it takes to end the game.